I want to show them. Let's just take a quick walk down memory lane with Elise Stefanik and the presidents at the time of Harvard, Stanford, and what was the other one?
Harvard,
Columbia.
MIT, and Penn.
Okay.
And then we had Columbia later.
Columbia came later. Okay, watch.
Dr. Kornbluth, at MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
They've targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
Specifically calling for the genocide of Jews, does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
That was so powerful. We were all cheering you at these heartless people who showed up there like it was some sort of advanced physics exam instead of calling for mass genocide of the Jewish people. So can I just ask you, like, what's in your background? Like, did you start off as a prosecutor? Forgive me, I should know this.
I'm not a lawyer.
You look like a lawyer.
I went to Harvard undergrad. I'm not a lawyer. I've been in Congress for 10 years. And what's interesting about that question, Megyn, is it was the last question of the hearing. It was the most junior member who yielded me the last 3 minutes. I hadn't prepared that question. I thought, how can I ask them in a straightforward, moral way to box them in to answer it correctly? And my follow-up was going to be what disciplinary action has been taken against students who have violated the code of conduct. So I wrote it down in pencil, literally 2 minutes beforehand. Started with MIT thinking this is a technical school. They're not as far gone as Harvard and Penn. And then it was shocking to me, real time, that they said basically verbatim, it depends on the context. And the interesting thing about the hearing was there was no media in there. That's the C-SPAN clip. Mm-hmm. And they stood up, they left, it was the last question, they didn't think there was anything wrong. And then in a week, 1 billion people saw that. Because of the moral bankruptcy of their answers, it is now the most viewed testimony in the history of the United States Congress.
Oh, wow.
More than Watergate, more than any other congressional hearing, because, again, they're so out of touch with everyday Americans. You put up 3 constituents in my district, a farmer, a suburban mom, a manufacturing worker. They know how to answer the question. It is a disgrace that the presidents of our so-called elite universities, one of which is my alma mater, I graduated from Harvard as the first member of my immediate family to have that opportunity. It was not like that when I was there 20 years ago. So it took 48 hours for the Penn president to be forced out. It took a month for the Harvard president to be forced out. The MIT president is clinging on. We have since seen the Columbia president's catastrophic testimony as well. And this is pervasive in higher ed. We have worked on this investigation. If you think the hearing was bad, Megyn, we're going to have to talk about all the documents that have been turned over because of our subpoena. We'll put out a report later this year. That's even more bombshell material in there. It's a disgrace what's happening at these universities. The sad part is, among many sad parts of this, is it's not just the top, the presidents. It goes deep. It's these offices of DEI. It's the administrators. It's 95% of the tenured faculty who supported the presidents and didn't speak out on behalf of what's morally correct, that you condemn calling for the genocide of Jews, and it violates the code of conduct.
Can I tell you something? These are the same people who lecture us every other day about empathy. You know, we really just need to be more empathetic. And what they mean by that is we need to support DEI. We need to promote or dismiss people based on the color of their skin, based on their gender, based on their sexual preferences. That's what's empathetic, no matter who gets screwed as a result of these insane policies. And in that same category would be Kara Swisher. And I like Scott Galloway. I'm shocked to hear him talk like this with her. I know it was a joke. It's inappropriate. A man was killed. 2 people are still fighting for their lives. And President Trump dodged a bullet within an inch of his life and was grazed by it.
I hadn't heard that until you played it at the start of this show, and I was appalled listening to it. I cannot believe that these are media personalities who are spewing this hate, who are essentially making light of an assassination attempt. And you're right, a 50-year-old former fire chief who is a dad, a husband, who died as a result of this assassin. So it is a disgrace what the media is doing. They have fueled this hate towards President Trump, but it's really a hate of Americans who support President Trump, which is a diverse group of Americans. It is a disgrace, and this is about unity. This is about saving who we are as America. So this is an exciting, historic moment at this convention. You see a stark contrast with the hate on the left versus the unity that we have in the Republican Party.
Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over, along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers. Oh, great. The IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or balances owed. Don't waive your rights and speak with them on your own. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you. Whether it's business or personal taxes, even if you have the means to pay or if you're on a fixed income, they can help finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Call 1-800-245-6000 for a private free consultation or visit tnusa.com/Megyn. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.